Philadelphia, Carlos Obrador, and I want to welcome everyone connected to this online session, part of the activities of the Mexican Week 2021. Today's session will be about one of the great museums we have in Philadelphia and its collection made in Mexico, Hecho en Mexico. We are sure this session will be of great interest to all our viewers, since it is always interesting to know the exhibitions and programs of iconic places in the city. Now that the venues are reopening, this unique museum is a must-see place. Besides, the museum has a large amount of Mexican folk art. And let me tell you, this is great. I was able to visit the museum before the pandemic, and oh my God, it's amazing. It's a magic place, like its name, of course. To tell us about the Philadelphia Magic Gardens and its collection, we invited Emily Smith and Julia Sagar. Emily is the executive director of the museum, and Julia, along with her husband, artist Isaiah Sagar, are the founders of this idea that is now known as the Philadelphia Magic Gardens. But before we move forward with the session, I would like to also welcome Yvette Compean, who is the executive director of one of our biggest allies, the Mexican Cultural Center. So Yvette.
Thank you very much, Consul, and well, welcome everyone that's connecting, being or in the process of viewing us right now. I just want to welcome, of course, Julia and Emily. Thank you for being our guests today. Just a reminder to everyone, we're still doing some activities for Mexican Week, of course, which is tomorrow is May 6th and May 7th. We're having the tour with Mexican writer Carlos Jose Perez Samano of the Gallery of Mexico and Central America of the UPenn Museum. So tomorrow the tour is going to be in English, and then on Friday the tour is going to be, tomorrow is in Spanish, and on Friday it's going to be in English. So if you want to, everybody that's connecting to this online session wants to know about the Mexican and Central American Gallery, then this is the opportunity. But for now, I want to welcome again Emily and Julia. Thank you, ladies, for being here.
Bravo. Muy bien.
Good. Thank you.
So before focusing on today's theme, I wanted to ask Julia and Emily the following. From what we know about you, though, you don't have a Latin American background that we are aware of. So how do Americans like yourself end up so interested in the Mexican art? And is there a story or an anecdote behind this passion that you show at the museum?
Well, I was brought up in New York, about 50% Latin, and HP. Then when I went to a school called Cooper Union in New York City, and then after that decided that I wanted to go to school in Mexico. So I finished college at the Universidad de las Americas in Mexico City at the time. And you know, while I was living there, I had a little apartment right at the edge of the city, and there was a knock on my door. And I was on the second floor. I looked out of the window, and there was a man with 7 donkeys. And on each side of those donkeys were big packs. And he said that he had been given an order by Green Stamps of Austria.
Wow.
2 years before. And he was now finishing the order, and he wanted me to pay for it. So I became the inheritor of a big bunch of folk art from Michoacan.
Wow.
And you know, I loved it. I put it all over my apartment, and I began to study more of what I already was seeing.
Right.
And that's how it started.
Yes.
Then
right.
I had to get it home, which was another problem.
Can imagine, right? Yes, yes. So when I mentioned that we were going to do this session with the Philadelphia Magic Garden, someone asked me that what kind of garden is it? So for the ones out there that have not been able to visit this wonderful place, Julia, how would you define the Magic Garden? What's the idea behind it, and what is its mission? What would you say it is its mission?
I have another story. You're going to hear a lot of stories.
Right.
This is my iceberg story. So that we were living next to a lot. Philadelphia at that time had a lot of buildings that were torn down, and we were living next to one of them that was a lot that people, actually vagrants, were sleeping in, and it was a real mess. And so I kept yelling at my husband to go out there and clean it up. And he did. And then I said, better plant something in it or else they're going to go in there again. So he began planting tomatoes. And then as he planted tomatoes, he began looking at the walls and he said, wow, dingy walls. We have to do something like they do in Mexico. And so he started embellishing the walls. And then he began to embellish with things he found, things we had, and he began to work. And that started 14 years of work. So yes. Emily can tell you more about.
Yes, that's impressive, right?
Yeah, so Isaiah worked on this amazing place. It's not really a garden anymore. It's a sort of magical mosaic labyrinth. It goes under the ground. There's tunnels. It's filled with folk art and color and all these found objects. There's a gallery inside. It's a big open space right on 10th and South Street. We do all sorts of programming. So we work with you guys all the time. You're one of our favorite partners, and we have parties and concerts and happy hours. We drink a lot together. You know, we do so much wonderful stuff. And now it's sort of a big community space, I think.
And what started out as one little lot now is 5, right?
Yeah,
5 or 6.
Yeah,
so it's
5.
grown.
And growing.
Wow.
That's good.
And it's gone upstairs and downstairs and in and out.
It's everywhere.
Right, a beautiful labyrinth.
Be careful, your walls are very plain.
Right. Yeah, we need more color. And glass and ceramic and talavera, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Emily, well, you've been the executive director for some time, right? Over there at the Philadelphia Magic Gardens. Could you share with us what kind of exhibits has the Philadelphia Magic Gardens has had in the past?
Yeah, we do a couple. In normal times, we do usually about 4 or 5 exhibitions a year with different kinds of artists. We often have local artists here in Philly. We focus a lot on outsider or self-taught art. We have mosaic art, but also a lot of our artists are Mexican artists.
Latin American.
Yeah, Latin American and Mexican. We often are lucky enough to be able to bring our artists up from Mexico. And so we've had a lot of really wonderful artists that highlight our folk art or just contemporary art in general. So we're very, very lucky in that way.
Yeah, gotcha. Yes.
Open now? What are the plans? It has reopened the museum, or what are the plans about?
Oh, we're open. Right. We're ready for you. We opened on April 1st. We had to shut down twice, and we were shut down over the winter. We're open. We're hoping never to close again, ever.
Right.
And we're open 6 days a week. We only are closed on Tuesdays. You can buy a ticket online. We don't have many events this year. We're going to keep it pretty quiet for events, but you can come and tour the space. Right. And one of the things I forgot to mention to you guys, anybody who's on this live stream today, if you just let us know, either let Yvette know or you can message the Magic Gardens, you get a free guest pass to come to the Magic Gardens and see the show. I forgot to tell you that, Yvette, but we can figure it out. Let us know.
That's a nice surprise for our viewers. That's great. Yes.
Let us know. Like, we want you to come see the show in person. It's very safe there. It's very open space, and we're all vaccinated, so we're ready to see you. So
welcome you in.
Yeah. So please just let us know if you would like to see the show in person, and we'll let you.
Okay. what about if whoever is watching right now and give us a like, those persons get a free ticket? Would that be okay?
Yeah, just
All right.
we have to just communicate how to get you the guest pass, but we can get it to you.
Maybe with a name or
Yeah,
anything like that.
yeah.
Okay, that's
Contact
great.
either Yvette or, well, maybe just contact Yvette. She's the easiest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so contact us, just write a message on this session that we're doing right now, or give us a like, and that way just we'll know that you guys can have a free ticket, just like Emily's mentioning it right now. So yeah, I wanted to point something out that I love your museum, as you know, and for me it's not only because of what you show there, which is, for me, it's very unique, and for everyone else, I'm sure, but also you have this organizational mindset about treating folk artists as real artists, right? Because you actually put it on your webpage saying like, well, sometimes craft it's mislabeled, and that means, or that translate on the artist getting like not treated as an artist. I don't know. It's like, it's just the work loses value, right? And that's not good for the artist at the end. So for me, it's amazing that you guys like treat all these artists like real artists, like they should. And I guess I wanted to ask, like, how, I know folk artists is way more popular in Mexico than here, from my understanding. Maybe I'm wrong, and you can correct me on this. But so and from what Julia said, she studied in Mexico, and that's why she became familiarized with folk art. But is that the only reason you became like obsessed with folk art, or is it like some other?
This is, I actually didn't explain to you my iceberg theory, but what we see in folk art stores, or Mexico's our neighbor, so we know a lot of it, and there are many Mexicans all over. So we know of the color, we know of the flowers, we know of the food, absolutely. But I would think that all of that comes from a very much deeper cultural understanding of what is Mexican culture. I think it goes back 3,000 years or 2,000 years. And you can see it in the museums, and you can see it in gallery stores on Madison Avenue, being very elegant. But it really is the people responding to what they understood comes up from their deep culture. And then they understand it, and they intellectualize it, and they produce from that. So all the little folk art you see that you might call craft is actually not. It is craft because they have the study of what their parents taught them, but it also is their deep understanding of who they are. And that's what we feel is Mexican folk art.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's just more, I think for us, there's a different level of respect that I think Isaiah and Julia, for decades have been working very, very deeply with artists. And when you're able to see how much talent and savvy and intelligence and creativity goes into making this work, a lot of time the work is handmade, where the clay is being, coming right from the mountain, or the dyes are right from, natural dyes, right from wherever their location is, or the wood is from the trees in the village that they've been living in for multi-generations. To me, that deserves so much more respect. And I think what's interesting that at the Gardens, we're trying to kind of flip this narrative of like Western art, that if it's on a white wall in a gallery and it's pristine and it's an oil painting, those are lovely. But I think there's something else, and it's funny, right, that we are living in a world where craft or the outsider is less than, when it's often women, it's often people of color, it's often indigenous people. And who's labeling these things, right? Is it the Western world that's deciding what is high art and what is low art? And I think if you start to really analyze that, it doesn't make any sense. Talent and creativity is real, and it's needed to make this work. And so I think it's, for us at the Gardens, it's about respect.
And it goes through everything.
Yeah, and I think it's about understanding that there's this incredible thing that we just want to share with everybody, which is really fun.
And so that is great, because before we continue, we will show your wonderful video for the people that are not familiar with the museum. A beautiful and wonderful video that Emily sent us about Made in Mexico collection for all of you to enjoy and see, and after so the video will continue the conversation.
Okay.
Great.
It's very short.
Because it's beautiful.
That must be clay.
Yeah,
Yes,
the Aguilar family.
Mhm.
almost everything is clay.
Yes. Oops, can we get the music
A
again?
ver la música. Let's see. Well, we have technical difficulties.
Yeah, we have a little technical difficulties. Yeah, I don't know if, is it gonna, I think we can try it again, or
We'll try again. We'll try again.
we'll try again soon. Okay, let's try, let's just give it another try.
Okay.
Okay.
No. Or we can play it without, maybe without the music, the background sound.
Yeah. Do you think, Emily or Julia, could you walk us through what we're watching without the music? Which is sad because the music is beautiful.
No,
but
the
the
Yeah.
music is so we can share the link later, but we can
Right.
walk through it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's,
Okay.
let's go to
Once
the
again.
show itself.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
They'll do it without the music.
Okay. You do. Oh, it's a little loud.
It's the reverb from, is it different? Julie, we should sing.
This is the entrance. Are you talking?
Yeah, this
Yes.
is the front gallery inside the space, and there's 5 artists that are in our show. Like you said, it's mostly clay, and because of the ceramics, because we often put a lot of the work outside, so that's why we have a lot of clay and ceramic pieces in general. But we have all sorts of other kinds of pieces in our collection too. This is from the Aguilar family. We'll talk about them in a little bit. They're probably the most represented artists in our space, maybe. We have a lot of work. There's multi-generations working. That's a little four-armed Isaiah. That's a Julia. A Julia.
Not me, that's not me.
This is Julia in the morning.
And that's Emily.
That's the devil. Yeah, the devil on the toilet. That's me. This is Concepcion Aguilar. She's the sister in the Aguilar family. And then here's our back gallery. We have two rooms, basically. It's a little bit of a weird space. You can see it's all mosaiced too. This is the Lorenzo family, and they're also multi-generational, fantastic. They make paintings on masonite, and they have a lot of really traditional iconography there. We do have a small panel on about COVID and how COVID has affected our artists. Obviously, our artists have been hit very hard in the last year, and it's been very hard to hear about. So we're trying to support them. This is Luis Valencia. He mostly works with paintings and prints now. So you can see a couple. This is him as Frida, and then Frida as him, I think, together. Joel Garcia, he works with paper mache.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. His work is fantastic. This is an alebrije.
Los alebrijes.
Yeah.
Fireworks.
The fireworks, running around like a crazy person. And then this is the Garcia family, and they work also with clay, like an unglazed clay, unpainted. And they also have multi-generational artists in their family working. Lots of animals and body parts and heads and stuff. And that's the quickest video ever of.
Right. Wow. It's still, you can see the magic in the place. I mean, we invite you all to visit the museum, and after watching the video, of course, it is clear that Made in Mexico highlights Mexican folk art. And that what else can you tell us, Emily, about this collection in particular?
Well, this collection, I mean, we have some photos I think we can share of the artists individually. It's a handful of artists that we have. We have lots and lots of artists that are represented in the Magic Gardens. We also have folk art from around the world in the space. We have art from Indonesia. We have art from.
But this is the Aguilar family.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're the first. Here's Josefina on the left. She's sort of the matriarch of the family. She's blind now, but she's working from memory still. And then this is her son Demetrio. He works a lot now with Isaiah on individual pieces. But there's many members of the Aguilar family. They all have a little bit of their own style. If you go to the next slide, you can see some of these representations. A lot of it is sort of the daily life in Mexico, in their town.
Which part of Mexico are they from, you know?
They're in Oaxaca. Most of these artists actually are in Oaxaca, I think.
No, not Lorenzo.
Oh yeah, we have two, Mexico City and then
Oaxaca.
From Oaxaca, yeah. So they're in the and they're very well-known family in Oaxaca. Here's examples in our space. You know, if you've never been to our space, it's hard to describe, but a lot of the folk art is actually embedded permanently in our space. And Isaiah has been working with artists for many years, collecting their work and commissioning work from them. And what Isaiah does, if he has any kind of object, anything laying around, it's going to go into the wall. And it forms the walls, it forms archways, it's in, you know, our courtyard. So it's sort of permanently out there. And as the space ages, we want to make sure if a piece is broken or it is deteriorating from weather, that we have a tradition where we are still connected to that family and we can still be commissioning work and making sure that the, that personal economy continues and that we still have this really strong relationship because, you know, we don't want to lose these things that are so important to us. We want to make sure these families are represented no matter how many years pass. Here's an example of what Isaiah will do if he's down in Mexico and Julia's always with him and sometimes I'm with them. He'll make drawings in his sketchbooks and then he goes to the family and he says, he says, I want you to interpret this in your own way. He doesn't want it copied. He wants to see the artist's hand. And so he usually will find an artist that he respects, and then he wants to see the artist transform his drawing. So these are from March 2020. We are actually, right when COVID hit, we were in Mexico. So this is the last round, I think, of drawings.
Look at the armadillo.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
And there's
COVID.
COVID around.
Yeah.
Right.
And what a wonderful way to interpret. Yeah, like, you know, Isaiah didn't say have him coming off wires. It's really how Demetrio interpreted that drawing. And it has so much more life to it too. It has its own whimsical feeling, and I think it's so wonderful.
And he even put a mask on the figurine, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, this was in 2020. This is Concepcion. She's also in our show. And again, here's the drawing on the left. And then this is the piece that was made after. And that's a Julia and Isaiah. They're connected. There's some alabriques. Everyone's got big earrings.
Just the women.
Just the women. Sometimes Isaiah has big earrings, depending on his mood.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and this is some of her typical work. She does a lot of like the Diablos, Katrinas. It's a little bit darker. We love it, you know.
Yes.
Very interesting.
Yeah. We have a lot of these pieces on the table here in the space permanently.
Right.
And this one's funny, you know how Mexicans are making fun of the devil all the time. So we like to collect that work too.
They're talking to them.
Yeah.
This is Lorenzo family.
Lorenzo family's in Mexico City, and they're in the marketplaces in Mexico City. And they do a lot of work of these paintings. You'll see there's hundreds of paintings in their stall, in their marketplace. And they're also multi-generational. I was saying this, they look very cranky in their photo, but they're very lovely people. And so that's Lucas over here with the cowboy hat as the patriarch. He just passed away last year, but they're all going strong. And so they use like a traditional iconography for their family, but they also, I think the next slide shows some Isaiah drawings that they also translated in there. If you go to the next slide, there you go. So we still buy work from them that we just love to see in their traditional style. And then we also say, hey, can you make some of these drawings? And Julia makes soup. That's a big theme. Julia makes a lot of soup, and Isaiah is always drawing her making soup.
But Emily has kept buying their work all through COVID. So
yeah.
We have 40 pieces coming from them.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
so that's nice.
Yeah. And here's Luis Valencia. We have two artists left. Luis Valencia. Here's Luis. He's in the 90s at the Magic Gardens.
Wow.
Look, he's such a young man there. He's so funny.
Yes.
And him and Isaiah get along very well. They're two
panzones, they call themselves. Dos panzones.
Sí. Dos amigos panzones.
Dos amigos. They call themselves dos perros too.
Sí.
But Luis Valencia has a lot of work also. He had a residency at the Clay Studio. And yeah, he was here for a while. And so he couldn't bring all the work back. So Isaiah and Julia got to keep a lot of it. And it ended in the Magic Gardens. If you go to the next slide, I think you can see, he's a painter as well. And yeah, he makes these beautiful, almost like a totem, all the way around.
And his work is all over the world now.
Oh, it's beautiful. And if you go to the next slide, you'll see these are pieces that are in the walls at the Magic Gardens. And here's Isaiah as a hippie, and there's a Julia with three heads.
Yes.
A little bit, and the mermaid. And here's agave, of course, Mezcal, really important to Luis Valencia. And the agave down there with the music and the agave coming out.
So Luis really captures, I believe, from seeing, his art, his pieces that he has built, that captures the idea of their concept of life, and that's wonderful. Yes, that understanding that he has of your vision of the art and culture and life.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, these artists have known the Zekars too. They've known each other for decades.
Well, it's more than just words, because I think drawings between artists is a real communication, you know, so they understand a lot of what Isaiah is doing, and Isaiah, of course, loves what they're doing. So there's an intercambio, you know, of the two forms of art of their.
Right.
Yeah. Here's Joel Garcia, who makes the paper mache. This is when Joel was in the Zagar's living room hanging out. Again, a lot of these artists have come and stayed with us or lived with the Zagars. So it's
He's from Mexico City.
He's Mexico City, yeah.
Mhm.
He does the paper mache, the Alebrijes, yeah. It's gorgeous. I just like, it just makes me smile. I love it. It's so beautiful. It's just so masterful.
Mhm.
I mean, this to me isn't craft. This is so sophisticated to me, the work. It's painstaking. It's so hard to do this work.
Mhm.
And he's
Would they do like workshops, Emily, from time to time there when they come, and would they do like workshops on papel mache or?
Yeah, they do.
yeah.
Okay, that's great.
And Joel came many times. He lost his visa for a little while. We're hoping we can get his visa back.
Mhm.
But yeah, he would come often. I think he came like twice a year, at least once a year.
And gave workshops and he actually gave a lot of workshops in the Mexican community, and
Mhm.
people would bring their children because a lot of those children were born here and didn't know what their traditions were.
Right.
And the parents were very insistent that their children learn
Sure.
and to speak to him, and he doesn't speak English, so they have to speak Spanish
Mhm.
and learn what he taught them, you
Mhm.
know, and he was wonderful. He went into the schools also.
Right.
And Julia and Emily, how did you meet all these wonderful creators? Like, did you guys went back every time you go back to Mexico, you meet someone new, or
Now, you know,
what's
you
the process?
see things, and then, excuse me, I didn't mean to cut you off, but you see a piece, you might see it at the Magic Garden, you say, who is that by? And you get a name, and you get a city, and you go and you begin asking around, and that's the way we did it. And we went from city, Oaxaca, but also there are many little cities. So someone might live in a little town called Ocomicho or Ocotlan.
Ocotlan, yes.
Is where they do, if you go to the next slide.
Yeah.
And so then once we get to that small town, everyone, you want to know the Garcia family, you just ask, and
You knock on the door. That's
and
what
that's
happens.
what happens. They're right there.
And you hope they're home.
They're always home. They're always home.
Yeah.
And they're always very inviting. So.
Yes.
Nice.
I think there's also like a core group of artists that Isaiah and Julia have worked with. I mean, I just found photos today where Demetrio, who's a grown man now, was just a small young man. And so I feel like, you know, you guys have been working for 50 years, almost 60 years in Mexico with artists. And those relationships are so deep. And now what I'm lucky enough to do is like, they almost train me to like, you know, make sure that you're keeping these relationships going. This is where we got it from, and this is what you have to do, and this is how you get there. And
we dragged her down.
You dragged me. I meant very happily, but you know, you have to keep it going too. You have to really keep it going.
That's a wonderful
Yeah,
idea. Yes. Look at that.
These are wonderful. This is actually on the right. This is what's Jose Antonio Garcia's? Sarah? No.
Sarah's a daughter.
Saracita is I don't know. It's on the other side, but the wife, she has a little mole right in between her eyes here.
Oh,
And so you can tell when he's making a portrait of her. He's
right.
also blind now, but he works with his hands. That's what he's known for. And a lot of these artists actually with COVID, they got on Instagram now, or they're on, you know, it's actually like it almost pushed people to go onto the internet, and there's ways you can find them easily and follow their work and see what they're up to, which has been really exciting. Or you're just messaging through WhatsApp now. That's been the last couple of years. We're just like,
yeah, they're pretty smart.
Yeah, you know, you bring the art to the tourists if they can't come to you.
Yes, exactly. That's wonderful. Yes.
Yeah. So this is in the Garcia home. I mean, they're just these huge pieces, absolutely amazing by Jose Antonio Garcia. and they're just sort of like mythology. They have these animals, this mythology. There's all mermen and all these. It's just so gorgeous. Yeah, and in the next piece, you can see. So here's from Sarasita. The daughter does a lot of these smaller mermaid pieces, lots of pregnant mermaids, and that's what she's known for. And that's in the Magic Gardens. And so is this other piece. You can't tell, but it's the size of Julia. I'm taller, but you know, it's the size of little Julia over here.
Right.
You're getting shorter all the time.
Yeah, I think that's the last slide. But those are the artists that are highlighted in the show. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Wonderful artists.
They're wonderful.
And well, I wanted to also ask you about local artists. I know you guys have worked with Hispanic local organizations, like art organizations, but what about individuals? Like, have you worked with artists individually here in Mexican artists here in Philly?
Well, we work a lot. There's some artists we've tried to work with, but for whatever reason, it didn't work out, which is fine. We're always on the hunt. By the way, if anyone's on this call and they know a fantastic artist that we should get connected with, or they are a fantastic artist, please reach out to us. We work a lot with artists in Mexico a lot, and we're always looking for new artists. We have a residency, the Julia Zegar residency for women artists. And that residency, usually we bring an artist up from Mexico if we can, but sometimes it's a Mexican-American artist or an artist living in America now. We have a wonderful resident artist. Her name is Laura Anderson Barbata. She was supposed to come last year. This is a disaster. It was a disaster. Wow. But she is amazing. Her work is fantastic. We can always Facebook message her name. I would really recommend you looking up her work. Her work is amazing.
She does street art too.
She's just fantastic. We're gonna do a great. You guys are all gonna have to be involved in that one because it's gonna be great. Well, yeah, we're always trying to feature at least one Mexican themed or Mexican artist each year. So we're always looking. We don't have enough locals. We need more Philadelphia local Mexican artists.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So just like you said it, if anyone out there is listening and knows of a very good local artist, then they should contact you because you might have opportunities for him or her, right?
Yeah,
that's perfect.
Carlos, you better start sketching.
Yes. Right. So what is next for the Magic Gardens? Any future exhibitions, events, projects that you would like to share with us now that hopefully the pandemic is under control and things start getting better?
I mean, hopefully you will all come visit us, get your guest pass. But one of the, like Laura's show, that'll happen probably in 2022. We don't know exactly.
And the children's workshops.
There's which workshops?
Olivia.
Oh, we do family jams each month. That's another one that we do. We often have themed. Those are every second Sunday each month. They're free with admission. We also work a lot with Puentes de Salud. They're doing an exhibition with us in May or June. What is it? May now? It's next June. June.
Right.
Not this May. It's in June. They're going to do a family jam, which will be the second Sunday. That's going to be really wonderful. And those are some local Philly artists. We were going to have a show of the Lorenzo family, the paintings on the Masonite panels. We were going to have a huge show with them. We're still going to have it. I hope to have a workshop with them, hopefully next year, where we can get everybody here in a big party with all our tacos and our tequila, and we can hug and kiss each other again. Because we know it's no fun if we all have to separate. So we want to do it right. So it'll be slow a little bit for the year, but we will have things going on and on and on.
Right.
That's
We're
great.
surviving.
Well, that's amazing. Julia, do you and your husband have any other venue, art space, museum, like the Philadelphia Magic Gardens, where Mexican folk art is being displayed or available to public?
Yes, this all started because, well, as I mentioned, I went to school here and I brought those burros full of the folk art back. and had to know what to do with them. So I opened up a gallery. It's called the Eyes Gallery on 4th and South, and I've had it for 52 years.
Oh,
And
wow.
it sells clothing and jewelry and folk art, not just from Mexico, but a lot of it is Mexican. A lot of it's from Latin America because we were in the Peace Corps in Peru. So we have a lot of connections in Peru, but we've also traveled to a lot of other places, and we bring handmade. We like things that are coming from deep roots and that are still being made today. So the Eyes Gallery has a wonderful collection of pieces. It has 3 stories. People go up and down all the stairs, and
it's mosaicked. It
and
looks like
again-
this.
Right,
First
right.
place they lived in 1968. So
So the
Oh,
Eyes
wow.
Gallery is coming back to life also now that the
Good.
pandemic is
That's
easing
great.
the city. It's not in other places, unfortunately, but Philadelphia seems to be doing all right.
So you
Well,
come to Magic Gardens and then you just walk down the street and you get to go to the Eyes Gallery at the end. It's just the perfect day. So
Mhm,
Exactly.
yeah, so
Yes.
You don't
Okay.
need tickets to the Eyes Gallery.
yeah, you
can
could
just
go
walk
there.
in.
perfect. That's wonderful.
Well, I think that we're running out of time, but it's been wonderful. Julie and Emily, it was a pleasure having you as a guest today. Thank you for teaching us about the Philadelphia Magic Gardens. Anything else that you would like to tell us, to share with the audience?
Come.
Come
Yes.
and go visit Mexico too when it's safe, because it's
Okay.
better in Mexico.
We're
So you'll learn a lot more if you go to Mexico.
We're just shining in your glory.
yeah,
actually.
exactly.
Right.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for being our guest, just like Consul Carlos mentioned. And thanks to all the viewers. And remember, tomorrow, the event of Mexico and Central America Gallery at the UPenn Museum with Mexican writer Jose Carlos Perez Samano. Register on their website. So thank you, ladies. Thank you, Consul.
Gracias.
Adiós.
Adiós.
Feliz 5 de mayo.
Feliz 5 de mayo.
Feliz, feliz. Adiós.
Adiós.